Good morning, guys. How is everybody doing? Hope everyone's well. Are you having a good week? Are you enjoying? So, little bit of an earlier session basically today. We were going to wait until the US session as normal, but to be honest, little bit of action happening in this European session, which is unusual for Bitcoin and some of the other assets after a little drop. So wanted to dive in today and see what's going on. The TRDR Discord is very active this morning with a lot of speculation going on. So I thought we'd have an unbiased look at what is going on this morning, where we've come from, where we are going. All right, guys, so we're in the TRDR console. If you're unfamiliar with this platform, grab a link for a free trial from below. You know what to do. Go grab yourself a cup of tea if you're English. Go grab yourself a coffee if you're European. And if you're a bit of a nerd, go grab yourself some sort of squirrel milk latte shit and let's dive in to the console and see what is going on. Right, straight away, just on the multiverse, a few assets I'm watching this morning. Okay, so ETH falling into a bit of demand, Bitcoin falling into a bit of demand, and some alts also, after we were looking for a little bit of a drop all around. So pretty good to see that little drop. Okay. Hope the mic's okay for everyone. Didn't do a live last week, so just checking in. Let me know if the mic's okay. Affirmative, please, ladies and gents. What I want to do is, there's a few positives to look at in the market today and a couple of negatives. No major negatives. I think everything's looking fairly constructive. But let's review some data. Cheers, guys. Yo, swap, yo, DW. So let's review some data together. Let's have a fresh pair of eyes today, right now. Okay, let's have a look at where we've come from. Let's have a look at where we're going. And let's dive in, yeah? So, first of all, yeah, I'm going to look at Big Boy Bitcoin. I do want to have a look at where we have come from and where we're going. Something I do want to point out, I'm just going to go to Volume King first. We're finding a little bit of bid now. Let's have a look at where we've come from, okay? To do that, a little bit easier if I just flick to Trading View here, okay? Daily time frame. So posted this last week, just a real clean chart, daily time frame. Range, overall big daily range, POC right here. I'm just going to call it 67k, yeah? Said to the guys last week, this is not going to be easy, but this is the point we want to take. We want to flip this zone, okay? We want to flip this zone as support, basically. And if you're in doubt, don't even draw a range POC, just look left. Really, really simple level, okay? So, with that in mind, was looking for a little bit of a drop all around, all across the market. There was a few order blocks on alts looking a little bit lower. We had slight bearish volume divergences in the weekend with some high open interest on BTC as well. So I was looking for a little bit of a drop. Not mega bearish, but what I don't want to see is continued drop. I don't want to see a lower high here on the daily time frame, okay? I want to see some bid come in and I want us to push back up quite quickly, to be honest, reclaim this range POC level and push on, yeah? So 4 hour, here we are. This is just a little bit of a zoomed in level. So this is your weekend price action, little bit of a weekly order block created at the weekly open there. We'll call that 68,130. Okay, and we dropped with that high open interest. Retail were longing the shit out of this on weekend volume. Not a good idea. High open interest. We come back down. So I'm glad to see this come back down now. Okay, but I want to see us push up, reclaim this, and push on. All right. So with that in mind, we've got our levels in mind. We know what we want to see. Okay, but do we have the order flow for it? And what I'm going to show you is just basically, we're just on the Volume King template at the minute, and I'm just going to go to, so here's our weekly open price action here, okay, if you can see that. Yes, I'm on the classic H&A candles, yeah? Yo, Ali, how are you doing? a little bit of static noise. Oh, sorry about that. I do need to upgrade, to be honest. DK at TRDR keeps haunting me to upgrade my mic. Bear with me. It might be my raspy espresso coffee voice at this time in the morning, to be honest, Ali. But right, let's jump in. So I just want to show you this very, very quickly, just to put a bit of context on where we've come from, okay? So this is up here. This is our weekend price action, yeah? Okay, so weekly open, all right, weekly open, shit volume, really, really shit volume, no real edge, but shit, curling down slightly, but sustained high open interest again, okay? If you're familiar with this template, you know that I don't like to see that sustained high open interest for any continuation up, okay? So this is where we've come from. We've got the drop, this is our range cluster POC here, and now as you can just see, we're getting a little bit of demand coming in. So all good in the hood. Slight negative, lower time frame, 15-minute here. We don't have any build-up of bullish divergences quite yet, and the open interest is still a little bit high. I would still like that a little bit lower. So negatives, no bull divs yet, open interest, still a little bit high. Okay, positives, daily trend looks good, 4-hour trend looks good, and then we'll jump into a few more order flow positives right now. Let's go and have a look. Right, so here we are, 15-minute time frame at the minute, so 15-minute basis. I am going to go slightly lower time frame in a second. It's not ruining the show. We should. Yeah. Right, so just on a 15-minute basis at the minute. Okay, so let's run through some positives that we are seeing. So from the weekend and the last couple of days, we were looking at a little bit of a pullback, yeah? We're looking for a little bit of a pullback. We've seen that now, and I'm not going to take altcoins into consideration just yet, although we will have a look at those in a second. Let's concentrate on big boy Bitcoin, okay? So positives. Depth building, nothing amazing. Okay, so 450, 500, tickling 600 million depth. We all know now that $900 billion aggregated depth is better, isn't it? Okay, so why is that? We've got Binance Spot really, really bidding this level, along with Kraken. Okay, so I think I actually saw some outflows from Kraken. I think the Mt. Gox distribution people are actually a little bit smarter than what we believe. They are OGs though, aren't they? So some coins were going to Kraken and then they got offloaded as well, I think. Anyway, so spot bid from Binance. Bitfinex actually coming in with some bid here as well. Gemini are bidding, Kraken bidding, and Qcoin with a little bit of bid as well. What else is giving us our big aggregated depth? One of the biggest exchanges and markets that we have. Okay, don't mess around with these guys. Binance Perps, absolutely solid. They want to defend this level. Okay, so nice. 530 at the minute, current aggregated depth, really, really nice. Who isn't bidding? What I don't like to see. Now, this isn't the be-all and end-all. I would never commit to trades if Coinbase Pro were not getting involved. But I do like to see the US guys getting involved in spot, to be honest. Coinbase Pro, not interested at the minute, okay? Now, that's not the end of the world. They may need to come in, because this is the European session. They may need to come in after we've filled bid, and they may need to chase this up. Okay, so something to watch for in the coming days is coming hours, should I say? Do Coinbase need to come in and start bidding this up? Okay, so the Europeans have actually got the best bid. Do Coinbase Pro need to step in and then bid this up? That's something I've been watching for. Okay, so little bit of a lower time frame, 5 minute. If I just get rid of that quickly. You've got this order block here, defending price. Currently, we'll call it 62.5, and then you've obviously got these fat order blocks here, 63.5. Did I say 63.5 and 62.5 on spot? Okay, so at the minute, quite easy invalidations, I would say. Okay, one thing we do have to note is, oh, there it is. I don't know why it wasn't showing up. Yeah, I knew it was a fat order block. Yeah, 62.5, 62.6. That's your current invalidation. Not too far away. I think it's, if you're executing at the lows here into this bid, 2.3% away, okay? One thing of note is that because we've seen that the open interest is still a little bit high, okay, and we don't have any bullish divergences yet, this is your current invalidation, all right? It wouldn't surprise me to deviate a little bit lower and go and attack into this 60k level, okay? That's where Coinbase Pro want it at the minute. They might not get it. They might not get it, okay? But that's where Coinbase Pro want it at the minute as well. Okay, so quite happy to put a bit of risk on in here. Absolutely solid ratios bids in here from Binance Spot. If we have to deviate a little bit lower and have another crack at 60, then that's fine. But at the minute, quite liking the look of this. Yeah, yo, Rude. Yeah, we'll have a look at ETH. But I'm actually not too interested in it at the minute because the price action has been shocking. I think it was a good short hedge last 24, 48 hours, along with a couple of alts that we'll look at. So if I do start to talk too much shit, remind me to have a look at ETH, Matic, and Theta as well. I shorted the other day, or was that last week? I can't even freaking remember. Ali says, the first thing I would want to do, Mount Gox, is just store them on a cold storage and get... Yeah, well, I think that's what they've been doing, you know? So a lot of people expected them just to sell, right? Why would you do that? These are real OG Bitcoiners, right? And we've just had the price, you know, the halving and other macro stuff going on. As an OG Bitcoiner, you know, unless you were desperate for the cash, but as an OG Bitcoiner, why would you just get your Bitcoins now and then just start selling them, you know? Bit of context there, isn't there? Right, where was I? I told you I'd rant on for a little bit. Let's, so basically, yeah, meeting some demand now. Not a problem with applying a little bit of risk here whatsoever. Said that in the Discord earlier. Nice, easy invalidation. Just appreciate we haven't built bullish divergences yet. Your open interest still a little bit high. So do we need to go and attack 60k? Okay, and get a bit more aggregated bid. Okay, so 500-600 million at the minute. If we rotate down, build the bullish divergences, clear a bit more open interest, and do we then build aggregated depth to $1 billion depth? That would be really, really nice. But right at this minute, I'm prepared to put on a bit of risk here and see how the day goes on. I quite like this area down here. Okay, wasn't looking for much of a drop, to be honest. You know, just if you remember looking at the video posted on Tuesday and said last week, I'm not looking for much of a drop at all. I'm looking for a quick drop, find some bid, rotate back up, take this 67 level, flip it as support, and then run and gun. That's the kind of price action I'm looking for now as we start to pick up momentum and a bit more volume in the trades going into Q3, Q4. Okay, I think we've had our little summer lull. And we can see that in the order flow as well. There's a lot more traders getting involved. I think we've had our summer lull. If I just show you the weekly chart as well, okay, I showed this on the video, but we had our weekly fib time. Okay, we've got the push up on the weekly fib time. I've actually got a daily fib time today. Okay, so direction not implied by that, but as we meet demand, happy to apply a bit of risk. So just wanted to point that out. All right, guys. So yeah, Bitcoin meeting demand, invalidation, very easy. We're in the green on the ratios. Let's watch as the day goes on. But that's why I just wanted to do this little live session today instead of the US session, really, because come the US session, it might be the case that we're pushed up already, or we're coming down to fill a bit more demand down here. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with coming down here, you know, and filling a bit more demand. Absolutely nothing wrong with this at all. The only thing I would watch for in the coming hours is, does this level get pulled or invalidated? Okay, so then you as traders, when you're executing in here, have to decide, do I let price action just stop me out and invalidate me? I'm more in favor of that 99% of the time. Okay, or if you really see levels start to get pulled, do I just want to kill the trade and then review as we go and maybe get a little bit of a lower bid? Rude says unemployment rates in 3 hours. Who fucking cares? Rude, you love your US data points, don't you? Well, it was nice to see the US stonk market absolutely tanked yesterday, didn't it? Let's have a look at that quickly. So US stonks absolutely tanking yesterday. Nvidia was actually down 6.8%. Is it a nice healthy pullback on a higher time frame trend? I would be in favour of saying that. S&P mini futures not moved much, but we can see it did come down yesterday, and Coinbase Global coming down as well. So quite nice to see Bitcoin and most of crypto holding. Obviously altcoins have been decimated over the last week or so. Well, let's call it last month or so anyway, though, haven't they? So yeah, always bear in mind data points, but I think if you're an Asian or Arab whale looking to get in some exposure on Bitcoin, do you give a flying fuck about US employment rates or anything going on in the US? No thank you, fill my bid and let's go. Right, have I covered everything on Bitcoin? I believe I have. I'm not going to go into higher time frame liquidity chart right here, right now. I think we know where we've come from. If you joined us on the live session on Discord on Tuesday, DK was pointing that out as well. I think we're still in a risk on environment. Okay, so that's now down to the trader's execution. Okay, it's down to your execution within these levels, within these demand zones, and your risk management. Okay, I don't think the liquidity chart is pointing towards risk off in any way, shape or form. Let's go and have a look at Vitalik's coin then and bore everyone to absolute death. So one thing I have to point out is I think ETH was actually the better hedge short. Okay, so ETH had the bearish divergences. It also had the high open interest, and you had these top levels. Okay, these resting limit orders coming down to meet price. All right, and especially if you looked at this point here yesterday, the top levels or your resting order blocks were actually moving down. You don't want that. You don't want to see these red offers move down while the green bids are moving down also. It's just suggestive of possibility of moving lower. Okay, not always, not 99% of the time, but possibility. So I thought ETH was a better hedge short because Bitcoin wasn't really showing its hand apart from those bearish divergences, apart from the high open interest. Okay, it obviously dropped, but I think ETH was the better hedge. Okay, right now on ETH, it's finding some demand certainly, but I'm not seeing. I mean, BTC certainly didn't pull a drop like that, did it? I would say there's no major edge on ETH right now. You could say that it's just going to do what Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin rises up now from its demand level, then that's, ETH's probably going to do the same. You've had a little bit of a wick here on ETH into this demand zone. Wasn't watching that at the time, although I do wake up early. That was 5 a.m. my time. But there's no real major edge in the order blocks right here, right now, is there? Let's just have a look at what volume is doing. Interesting. 5 minute is going up. Okay, so if ETH takes another drop, it's probably more likely to put in some volume divs before Bitcoin, actually, to be honest. So ETH could go for a little lower low here, and then I would potentially just look for your classic volume divs here. But really, let's ignoring that, let's just concentrate. Let's concentrate on the actual order blocks and the demand zones at the minute. For ETH, just need to refresh that. I do sometimes need to do that. I'm on Safari because I just tend to find it runs a little bit smoother for me on these live streams as I'm on a Mac Studio. Yeah, no real edge right here, right now. I would wait for. You see these order blocks that have been moving down, and I'm fully expect that some of them have been filled. But if the market starts to move up, again, whoever's filled the bids on these wicks, if we don't get any lower fills, these guys are going to just have to chase, aren't they? They're going to have to chase up. Yeah, no major edge on ETH. I think it's an absolute bag of shit, to be honest. I will trade it if there's some real clean edge on it. But the chart is crap. ETFs or no ETFs, I don't give a shit. The chart is crap. There's not too much edge on it right here, right now. I think there is some better stuff out there. Let's have a quick look at ETH BTC then. Nothing much to say. Just bear in mind the ETH BTC bands that were higher up there. I think there was some selling from, yeah, Bitfinex was selling ETH BTC. No Edge from Bitstamp, although they were pushing it down as well. Okay, so regardless of ETF, no ETF, Vitalik pulls out his cock again, and it goes live on Twitter. The chart is a bag of shit on ETH. I think there are better trades out there, miles better trades if you're just in altcoins, and better order flow as well, especially if you're just day trading, which we will go and have a look at a couple now. Right, so this week, not much on, to be honest. Did point out to a few of the guys. We looked at this on Tuesday, but I'll just show it in case anyone missed it. Matic, really good. Let me just refresh that. I do have to refresh this now and again, like I say. Matic was a really nice hedge short position, I thought. Okay, so we go to a 15-minute time frame. Really nice head short position. Absolutely no invalidation here whatsoever. Really good. Down into the demand zones. You could have even played this move down here. Okay, take and profit, wait for a little bounce. But then your top level's a little bit further away, and we're now coming into demand on Matic. One thing to note, you might see a few order blocks a lot lower down on alts as the day progresses, so that could be suggestive of alts taking another little dip. But Matic, really nice hedge position. Another one over the last few days or weeks, so another one that DK took, and I didn't take because I didn't see it, was Pendle. Absolutely got hammered into the weekend and then beyond, absolutely hammered. Again, no invalidation of top levels, and it sinks like an absolute rock of shit. So I'm sure it's a very good project. I know it's got quite a good community behind it, but who gives a shit? It looked like a great short position. Okay, let's have a look at a few other altcoins, shall we? I'll tell you one that's got really good order flow at the minute. We will go back and review Bitcoin as well, but one that's got really good order flow is WIF, okay? And I mentioned this on various live streams and stuff before, is I'm not too keen on taking shorts on stuff like this, although you do get a reaction. A lot of these coins have been decimated down to real lows and are trying to put in higher time frame patterns to come back from the dead, aren't they? Okay, so I think a lot of coins will smash their supply zones as the weeks and months go on. But to play the long side has been really good. If you just look at the top levels on WIF, it really gets some really nice reactions, really does, from demand zones. Stuff like this, double bottoms, really good. So keep an eye on that. I think it was last Thursday, or it might have been Friday, we put in some longs on WIF. Yeah, absolute beast of a coin when it moves up. And what, you know, obviously if you just zoom out, what you can see is the long side is paying dividends, the short side not so much as we move on. Okay, so keep an eye on assets like that. Another one that I don't even know what this project is. Someone let me know in the chat. Arweave has got some really nice order flow as well. I'm not going to go back too far, but this was another one we played last week. Really good. Long your longs, and if you're just day trading, take profit into supply and then review as you go. Okay, you know, when you see, if you're just day trading, okay, long TP, maybe you just take a little bit of TP and keep a little bit on. But what I'm trying to say is, if it's not a spot bag and you're not absolutely falling in love with the coin, I don't know why you would anyway, it's all magic internet beans, but if you are just day trading, okay, really good charts on stuff like this. I don't even have a clue what this asset is, it's just got a really good chart. One to bear in mind as it comes back now to its demand zone. Okay, so really good. A couple of other charts that were looking good, and I've actually deviated their levels. Okay, so they've actually deviated their levels. One was tier. Let me just go to a 15-minute chart there. One was tier. We had some massive order blocks right here at this 5.1 sorry, 5.95 level. We were reviewing, this is the sort of thing, when you can see these sort of things of the last few days, we're looking at price to come down, okay? So price starts to come down, great. Order blocks actually just got absolutely ran through, okay? And now we're still dropping a little bit. Another one that was similar to that I was looking for it to come down a little bit, all right? And it's coming down, but as actually its order blocks have been pulled, is Rune. So Rune's another one where as price is floating up here, you're just reviewing these order blocks down here and thinking, right, well, that's where I want it to come to, okay? But then as price does rotate down, the order blocks have actually been pulled. So now we just sit and we wait a little bit, okay? So I think Rune's coming down to a good level. I would be quite happy to put a bit of risk exposure on here, but then just watch how the day progresses. It's actually coming down to back test some quite nice levels, but you need to see a little bit more out of the day and what is going on. All right, guys. Sol, Soy Boy Solana, let's have a look at the spot chart first, as always. So Sol, quite a good day trade, I guess there. What percent was that away from the top level? Yeah, 1.5 away. So even yesterday, if you caught that yesterday, quite a nice one on Sol if you're looking at hedging any sort of position. Still could come down a little bit further, but I think the Sol chart in general on the higher time frames, 4 hour and the daily, is looking really, really, really good. So yeah, a few good charts out there. What's Pepe doing? Pepe generally gets some good order flow as well. What I would do is just, as always, it's, you know, people are filling a little bit on spot here on Pepe. I would just watch, you've got these order blocks a little bit lower. What you ideally want is these order blocks to now come up and start chasing price up as we go. So yeah, a few coins to watch out there, really. A lot of coins seem to be wanting to put in a bottom. So from the beginning of the week, we were looking at coming down a little bit lower. We've now got that, okay? So over the next 12, 24 hours, do we start filling some bid and rotating back up, or do we need to deviate a little bit lower? I don't think it's going to look too good, really, if we do start to deviate a lot lower. But I don't see any particular reason to go mega lower, you know? I think Bitcoin's trying to find some demand. Most of the alts are trying to find some demand, and we'll just review as we go. Someone on Binance Perps obviously very, very committed here. Right, drop in the chat if there's any alts we do need to look at. I'm personally just in favour today, as it's early in the European session as well, of not putting too much risk on alts right here, right now. If you haven't already, I would just watch how the day progresses. See if some aggressive demand comes in on those altcoins as BTC shows its hand, okay? So do we get continued bid on BTC? Alts drop a little bit further, find some demand, and then get a rotation as BTC holds here? Or do we get a little bit more value, like mentioned at the beginning of the stream, okay? So do we get a little bit more value? Don't know why the top levels don't show, and I have to refresh that. It's probably Safari, but as I say, this stream does tend to go a little bit better with Safari than Chrome or any of the others. Yeah, do we fill into here? Okay, do we fill this zone on BTC, which will give a little bit more value on alts? That's just something to consider in the next few hours. But yeah, drop in the chat and give me your thoughts right here, right now, on Bitcoin and on any other alts. I'm just going to check my alert system, see what we've got. Uni coming into some demand. What I do have to say is, if I'm getting perps alerts on alts, I'm not too fussed right here, right now for perps. I'd rather see the alt diamonds, which are here, which is spot and perps confluence, for instance, on AVAX, as we see right now. So this is AVAX spot, and perps a bid as well, but again, no fat order blocks to defend. It did deviate this one here, okay? So that's really what I want to see. What was that? Was that a Rune one? So Rune perps are going ape shit. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, I want to see spot. I want to see Rune spot push up, okay? Just to bear in mind on that one. Let's have a look at what Uni is doing. Uni. I don't know why I shouted it. I'm not really too interested in Uni, although it's a little bit of a blue chip altcoin, I guess. But yeah, it's getting some bid. If the walls get pulled like the one on tier, do you then continue watching it or just move on to the next one that has got a good top level? I quite like the tier chart, to be honest, I do have to say. Let's go and have a look at that one. Uni getting some nice bid. Uni's a nice one, right? Whether you're into this coin or not. Fat order block at $7. Now that's a round number. I never like to really trade round numbers. I'm a bit OCD and like to go, I would be a nerd and say, I'll bid 6.9876, some shit like that. But Uni's looking really good. So this is the kind of shit I want to look for on altcoins. Okay, so invalidation $7, but I would be prepared if this goes a tiny bit lower. Let's go and have a look at tier though for DW. Let's go and have a look at tier because I do like tier, and I'll tell you why in a second. Oh, do you mean this one here? So this got invalidated, yeah? So what was the question? If the walls get pulled like on the one on tier, do you then continue watching or move on to the next? Yeah, so I quite liked tier last week, and I'll show you why. It was forming a little bit of a pattern, but it's invalidated its walls, it's deviated a little bit, and there's nothing really to see here right now. So, and this was telling as well last night on tier, yesterday on tier. You don't want to see that from perps. I would leave it alone. For me personally, tier is nothing I would look at trading in spot. I just kind of like the way it was shaping up. And yes, so it looks like I wasn't watching the trades panel at the time, but this looks like it got pulled, and there is nothing right here right now. So I would just fucking leave this. Just leave it, because there's better charts out there like Uni. Yeah. Reason I did like tier though, and I'll show you here, was and a lot of coins are starting to do this, but tier actually looks like it's invalidating it now. Tier last week, so I pointed out to the guys in the academy, looked like it was trying to pull this inverse head and shoulders, okay? And then this trend line here is a higher time frame trend line, okay? So what I was looking for was it to fill its bid here and get continuation. We're not getting that now. We're absolutely invalidating. And I think tier's had quite a lot of hate as well, hasn't it? So I don't know why. I'm no expert on the project. I just thought I liked it here. I like this inverse head and shoulders pattern. As it was getting a lot of hate, it was actually in mega negative funding back here as well. So I was quite happy to trade this up. It now looks like a sack of shit, and it wants to invalidate everything, doesn't it? So don't like the shape of this now. It's almost a failure. And we're not finding much bid. So I think there will be better stuff out there. One that I can show you that looks quite good that I shared with the guys is Rune. Let me just reset that. So Rune's had a really nice push up. It's kind of not too hot here, but what I wanted to show you was, let me go to higher time frames. Thor chain, yeah, I'm on Rune. Let me just go to this. I'm just going to pull another fixed range and bore everyone while I'm here. Basically, what was it I was looking at? I was kind of looking at this trend line running down from this level. Have I got that on log? I don't want that on log. Okay, so this is what I was looking at on Rune. Okay, so downtrend after its absolute mega push up. Was that? Yeah, it was kind of like right into March of this year, wasn't it? But I quite like that Rune's pushed up and he's doing a classic tier of its downtrend. Okay, so like we looked at a minute ago, I loved seeing those top level order blocks on Rune. They've actually been pulled, right? They've actually been pulled. But I do like that it's doing a little bit of a classic tier pullback right here, right now. So what you want to see, I mean, it could pull back to this POC 4.15 or whatever it is. But if the market starts to get a rotation and Rune starts to catch a little bit of bid here, then it could be quite a nice risk-reward trade, okay? So there's some coins that are doing this. They're really trying to push up, back test levels, and then run. And there's other coins that look like tier almost, that are trying to put in these kind of like inverse head and shoulders, complex inverse head and shoulders, and the like. And I think they're looking pretty good. So we'll soon see. But yeah, like Rune right here, right now, it's just wicking a couple of lows now, isn't it? It's catching some bid, isn't it? But it doesn't. It's BTC. It's catching some bid. But can it go lower? Yeah, absolutely. Of course it can. Just acknowledge that POC a little bit lower. But yeah, like you say with tier, let's move on to some other stuff. No, just forget about it. Just forget about it. It's kind of just wait. I mean, if you're interested in the coin, set some alerts on it. Go into your spot alt double bands here. And I would just set some alerts. I've got some of the others in here. And then when the alert fires, have a look and see if you want to take action. Okay, so never treat those alerts as straight up entries. Just have a look at if you do want to take some action. Have we had JUP is yeah, I quite like the JUP chart as well, actually. And this is something that I pointed out, that was a while ago, wasn't it? This is something that I pointed out to the guys. Levels moving down. So really, you want to see these levels come up, to be honest. Let me just go to a 5 minute. Yeah, not what you want to see. You want to see these levels come up. But I was just wondering if stuff like Jupiter, JUP, and Ray, if Solana's going to have a little bit of a run, does JUP and Ray have a little bit of a run? Okay, so a big level there at the $2 mark on JUP. Sorry, Ray. Let's go and have a look at higher time frame on this one while we're here. 4 hour. 4 hour is up only.com, isn't it? Nothing really to say there. It's just absolutely trying to put in a new trend. I didn't realise the chart was looking that good, to be honest. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, not bad. Not bad from there. Right then, so let's go and have a look then. Any developments on Big Boy Bitcoin? 64250. He's trying to hold that level, isn't he? Let me refresh that. I'm gonna have to keep refreshing that. Yep. Looking good. Looking good. If you've only just joined, this is your invalidation at the moment. Let's see what we get. No other major alts I want to dive into at the minute, because I just want to see what how the day develops. Obviously European session, no major volume coming in at the STX. That could be one that runs quite well if Bitcoin gets a bid. All a little bit lower, isn't it? All a little bit lower. What's Perps doing? Okay. Yeah, not a lot to see there. Give us a shout. Is there any others we need to look at? Did I look at AR? Yeah, I did, didn't I? AR could be a nice one. Yeah, AR could be a very nice one. Now, when you see stuff like this, it's a little bit of a percentage away, isn't it? It doesn't mean you're going to have to go and fill all that 3% away. It just means you want best execution in this area, and you either want these entities to either fill or just defend this zone. NEAR. Is NEAR still quite a good project, is it? It had some good stuff in the works the other year, didn't it? But I'm not sure, is it a good project still now? Yeah, a little bit messy from NEAR, isn't it? A little bit messy from NEAR. A lot of alts look like they want to come down a little bit lower while BTC holds, which is interesting. Yeah, nothing majorly solid, is there? Look, it's certainly getting some. The Perps chart is messy. And you've got this bigger level that's been very, very static at 5.4. That could be used as liquidity, whereas spot is looking just a tiny bit messy, isn't it? A tiny bit messy. If you compare this chart, okay, that I'm saying is messy, and I'm not saying I'm a fan of AR. I'm just saying that on spot, that is a cleaner chart. Okay, so this is how I wanted Rune and Tier to hold, and they didn't. Okay, but AR at the minute is holding. Okay, so let me know if AR is a good project. I would hunt for charts like AR spot that we're just looking at. CRV, major bid. Major bid. Nearly triple bands, 94 ratio, 2.5 to 5% away. So if you are interested in CRV, it's getting major bid. DeFi wars. I'm not a DeFi nerd, unfortunately. Are they over? I think they are, aren't they? And I think the 4-hour chart, if you just go and have a look at that, I think CRV is starting to put in a bit of a bottom also. What do I mean by that? Well, let's just go and quickly have a look at it. A little bit dubious here. I'm not going to call that an inverse head and shoulders because that's a fat wick. You've filled the wick and you're now coming over here. I don't like this round curling over kind of structure, but you're certainly coming into value area lows, hence why it's getting bid. Okay, very easy chart to play, to be honest. If you are going to play it, bid with the top levels, look for reversals and look for a break of these kind of zones. Very easy chart to play, to be honest. Does it outperform stuff like with Pepe, Popcat, Mew, and all the meme coin shit? No, probably not. But if you're interested in the project, nothing wrong with putting in a little bid on stuff like that, is there? I think we might get Mew soon in the TRDR console because it's certainly on Binance Spot now. So I'm sure the guys, the guys in the background will start to add that. WIF holding well. Again, as I say, WIF does have a really good chart. Wild's had a nice chart as well. I know this coin gets a lot of hate, but it has had a very nice chart. We played this one the other week for a few percent as well when it was getting really bid up in these zones. Again, don't fall in love with the coin because it's a bit of a shiller project, isn't it? But the order flow tends to be quite good on it. So yeah, nice one there. What's the lizard coin doing? Let's go and have a look at the old XRP. Do I need to refresh? Yeah, sorry guys, I'm having to hit refresh today. Might be my XRP. Yeah, pulling back. Have a look at this 5.8 level. You've got a big order block there if you are interested in it. Someone certainly wants to defend the higher time frame trend that it's starting to put in on the 4-hour. So 5.8 level for XRP if you're a lizard Illuminati trader. Not bad at all. Any others we need to look at? I think some of the other, yeah, Phil and stuff, they're looking quite good as well. Order blocks a little bit lower. Some of these coins will hold better than others. Why will you see that? Well, it's because you're getting a slight rotation. So check the BTC chart as well. So the alt BTC chart. Let me have a look. Talking of other Illuminati coins, let's have a look at Link. I don't think it is actually. Yeah, nice order blocks on Link. So $12 area starting to get defended on Link. And I'm going to have a look at old school LTC as well. No real edge. Used to be a bit of a bellwether LTC, didn't it? But no real edge right here, right now. Another quick one just to point out, I'm not particularly a fan of it or anything but Maker. Really nice chart on Maker as well. If you're just even day trading, scalping or hedging positions, really nice chart on Maker. Right, so final thoughts while you guys drop any questions if you do have them. Current invalidation basically is the fat top level on Binance Spot. Okay, positives, again, just to highlight, we're getting some bid. We're coming into some aggregated demand, so 600 to 500 million aggregated demand. Current invalidation down here at this 62.5, 62.6 level, where you're getting really big bid on Binance Spot and Binance Perps as well. Negatives, the open interest still a little bit too high. Okay, we've not built bullish volume divergences on lower time frames down here yet. Most exchanges are starting to put in a bid. The only thing I've noticed is that Coinbase Pro are not interested at the minute. Okay, so do the US guys step in and start to pull orders up and dynamically chase bid up and bidders up here? Okay, or do we need to rotate down a little bit lower into this zone, build some bullish volume divergences, wipe a little bit more open interest, and gather a bit more momentum from the other exchanges? So it remains to be seen. Happy to put a bit of risk on here and just watch as the day develops. You're probably going to get some sign of momentum, obviously, in that US session, as always. So a couple of hours from now. So give it another hour or so, another hour, hour and a half. And I would say we're probably going to get a sign of if this level is going to hold or if we need to deviate a little bit lower. All right, guys. So, yeah, hope everyone has a really good day. We'll be around in the TRDR socials if anybody needs anything, but just wanted to get this live session out before the US session, really, so we could review a few things that are going on. Be around in the socials. Have a great day. We'll speak soon. Cheers.